60.
You're now listening to the Palmetto Dugout Show, hosted by State Director Sammy Esposito, Associate Scouts Drew Stewart and Sean Smith, that discuss all things related to amateur baseball in South Carolina. Here are your hosts.
Welcome into episode 113 of the Palmetto Dugout Show. We got Coach Sean Smith, Coach Austin Smith. Espo will be joining us here soon. What's going on, boys?
How we doing?
Sean doesn't seem enthusiastic.
Nowhere near as much as you. I had to turn my volume down a little bit. You came in hot.
Coach, it's the best show in the country.
You've been hanging around Wild Bill too long. You've lost feel for the pitch of your voice.
It's okay. Hey, I'm getting hyped up. We're giving the people what they want. We got a lot of viewers on here already.
Got a big show.
They want to see
Big
you
show.
cracking that Power 25.
Ooh, Coach, Power 25 reveal after 2 weeks. A lot of shakeup in the 25. Me and Sean did our classification breakdown earlier today, and you'll get that on Wednesday. It looks like it's a story, but you got to have a what, Austin?
Got to open up that checkbook, guys. Get that subscription.
Got to have that subscription. A big week in the state of South Carolina. Preseason tournaments have wrapped up, a lot of them. And we'll kind of start with that. We won't get to the Power 25 just yet. We'll wait till Espo gets on before we hop into that. But we'll start off with a tournament we're all familiar with. The Shipyard Showdown has come to an end. It's been a little while since we've been there. I know me and Austin did our day 1 to 3 recaps, which are on the YouTube page if you want to go check those out. But however, we did not recap day 4. We all were there. Coaches, we had a good championship game against the Fury and the Land Sharks. Land Sharks won, obviously. But a really good weekend, 4 days, a lot of teams, a lot of talent, right?
Oh, absolutely. They we got to see Oceanside and who was that? Fountain Inn in the championship game now last Monday. So yeah, that was a good game, and Oceanside came out on top there, but the final score was 6-1, something like that. But 6-2. Okay, there you go. I guess Fountain Inn scratched a couple across at the very end, but yeah, the Oceanside ran out there. Their sophomore lefty Aiden Kohler, who had shown pretty good already during the weekend, and brought home the title. I was thinking about it, and the guys were saying it when we were out there, and giving them the banner and all that stuff. And they're like, "Hey, shout out Danielle," and I was like, "Yeah, none of us picked the home team here, except for her." And I mean, I guess she had them pinned. So good for them. And then the catcher Scott Henry was the MVP of the championship game. He came through with a couple RBIs. They had a pretty good showing out there, and it was good to see Oceanside get the dub.
Coach Austin,
Danielle's obviously a lot more, I guess, humble than any one of us would be. She picked it 2 weeks ahead, and if I was her, I would have been certain I would have been on the show to make sure she was the only one got it right. I felt good about where I was, and I picked the team that lost. So, I don't know. Yeah, no, it was a really, really good 4 days, man. We had just players everywhere. I mean, honestly, there were almost every game, every day, every time slot. There there was games going on that we were like, man, I don't know who's going to win this. Sometimes we get down there and you get, a couple teams that run out of arms or something, and you're like, man, I really don't want to watch this time slot right here. This isn't going to be a good game. And we didn't run into that at all. It seemed like we were kind of scrambling around the whole time watching players. Every team that was there had at least something. Something on their team had something good going for them, and obviously, Oceanside. Again, it seems like this is going to be the second year in a row. They had all the D1 guys a couple years ago, and then everybody kind of forgot about them. And that team that I saw this past weekend, man, I think that team play with anybody in the state, not just in their classification, but anywhere. That team's good. They got, and on top of that, Coach Reed's got some arms left that I think we only saw throw for an out here and there. So he's got a lot of good things happening down there. So looking forward to seeing where they go this year. But man, that's gonna be a tough team. And Fountain Inn had a really good week. We talked about them a lot. Fountain Inn had a good week. Came home, had another good week. So I feel like I've been following so many tournaments on the Twitter page that it felt like the Shipyard tournament happened last month, but it's been less than a week. But I've watched so many. I felt like I was watching so many games since then, man. It's been a big week and a half of high school baseball here in the state. So.
Fountain Inn's only loss came in that they're 6-1 now. They swept all their games this past weekend, so their only loss is to Oceanside. And I misspoke. The starter for them was Cade Griffith, sophomore. He was the one that went 5 innings and held them to 1 run. So I wanted to give a proper shout out there. But yeah, Cade Griffith was the starter for that game. So, but yeah, good for them. Congratulations, and hopefully they'll lead with that going into the season. Right, Drew, you said it before that the winner or the teams that go deep in those kinds of tournaments are usually the ones that we're still watching at the end of May, right?
That's been the track record with the Shipyard Showdown. So a lot of expectations to live up to for both Oceanside and Fountain Inn. We'll see how it shakes out. Now, I didn't get to bring this up because I hadn't really had you in public, Sean. However, there was only one prediction that was really a statement and was correct, and it was the Gamecocks getting their ass whipped by the Tigers. And I told you, Austin, you can't stop the train right now. We'll get the trains here in a minute. Coach Smith, I told you the Tigers would sweep and it wouldn't be close. Now scoreboard says otherwise, but statistically, Sean, how are we feeling?
Well, they couldn't hit. And you guys got some good arms in there, and I was down there for Game 3. Got to watch it Founders up close and personal. I mean, yeah, you guys sent out that lefty in Game 3 with the funky almost sidearm look, and he was pretty good. And you guys got a good team. I mean, I was looking around and on the infield too. I was like, wow, all of those guys are really athletic and can really play defense. And obviously, you got a superstar out there in center field. He never has a bad at bat, and he's oftentimes just working 3-ball counts all the time and getting in good situations where he can make good swings and stuff like that, or get on base in another way. And yeah, unfortunately, I hate to admit it, but you guys got a pretty good squad over there. And for the ones that we've seen through the years now, I'll be rooting for them, but not for the team. I'll root for the individual, but not for the team. Is that all right? Can we reach a truce there?
Yeah, maybe. Coach Sean was getting slammed in the comments by PJ Hall. PJ Hall of all people.
Really? I didn't see that. Yeah.
PJ Hall said how bad of a pick that was for you.
The real PJ Hall or a
PJ Hall? Burners. I've seen burners left and right, man.
Right, that's what I was thinking.
No, this was the real PJ Hall. Had the check mark and everything.
I'm neutral on the situation. Really, I don't care. I enjoy it. It's one of my favorite weekends of the year, baseball wise, because I get to see Drew really get in such a panic over a game that has no bearing on his life. He has no control over it. No part of it at all, other than he donating his money to IPTAY or whatever it is. He gets all these stickers for on his car, but it's just a really good weekend. But I'm going to be honest with you, Sean. I thought it was an absurd pick when you made it, really, and that's just from the outside looking in.
Yeah.
Not that I think South Carolina has a bad baseball team. They're going to win plenty of games this year, but I just, the sweet pick on your end was truly a homer pick from the heart.
Yeah.
That, and sometimes you win some, you lose some, and that was one of them. But I do appreciate I can commend the loyalty and the willingness to go out on that limb for you, but it was a tough pick.
I was hoping for something to be at least a little bit more competitive. I felt obligated to go with the homer pick after Drew picked him to sweep, but then he turned out to be right. So that was even the worst part of all of it.
Yeah. So. Yeah, me and Sammy and Danielle, I think we all went safe, and we ended up being wrong. So it is what it is.
The good news is, due to our explosion of impressions on the college baseball pick'em, starting this week, we're not going to do it live on the podcast. There will be a college baseball pick'em, 10 series a week. We'll release the graphic, and you get 2 points for the correct result. So if Austin picks the sweep and they don't sweep, then you only get 1 point if they win the series. See what I'm saying here? And we'll do that starting this week. Espo has joined, and he's going to be joining just in time.
Before we start that pick'em, I would love for us to be able to go out on a limb here and say the loser of this pick'em is going to eat a can of stand-up wings on the show, but we know that's not going to be true. So
we can do it. What's the loser going to do?
I don't know. We'll see.
Can we pick something else? Yeah, I mean, are we going to go the same way? Because it never happened in the first place. So.
Yeah, it really doesn't matter. Yeah, Coach, we got you, man.
Hey, let's turn this over to the fans. What should the loser of the college baseball season pick up? What should be their punishment at the end of the year?
That feels like a bad idea.
No,
man, here.
People, yeah, you're here, Espo.
Hey, I finally made it. I made it.
Coach, he got a wild bill in him right now too. We got to rein him in too. Jeez,
what happened?
He has no clue. He's in space.
Good.
Drew started the show screaming at everybody for no reason. So I said he hung around Wild Bill too long. And then he had guns blazing too. So
people in the comments are going to tell us, guys.
Because it really doesn't matter because it's optional as to whether or not we do it or not. So we'll see.
Right. That's the precedent that's been sent by none other than.
Okay, and on to the next subject.
On to the Power 25.
No, not yet. You know what?
Sorry.
Should we let's do this one first before we get to Power 25. Here we go. We had another big tournament. Prep baseball was present the whole entire weekend. We had Sean Ho and Blake down there. Congratulations to Chapin on winning the Classic against Daniel. Really close game there. Came down to the end. Chapin takes it. Chapin, an impressive 4 wins in the tournament. But Shano, what stood out from you from the Classic?
I mean, first of all, just it was really cool being down there. I'd never been down there for that big of a tournament, obviously, and they had a billboard up when I was driving in with all the Georgetown players on it, and I was like, okay, it's like this is kind of a big deal around here. And then they had the flyover and everything. I was like, whoa, so it was no kidding around when we went down there to Georgetown. But yeah, they had a really great setup for everybody, and they really took care of all the scouts and all the college coaches that were coming around there. So I appreciated all that, and hospitality is wonderful. So it was really cool being down there. I never been to that field before. Drew, I know we talked about it on the other show, but 330 to center and 340 to left field, and then 290 down the right field line. It's just like it's all over the place. It was pretty crazy. So got to see some balls leave the yard, and it's a lot of good baseball all the way around. So. I'll kick it off with, Caden Reeves. I felt like the Chapin catcher had a really, really big week. Just he was out there. He hit a bomb in one game and was happy to see that really pimped it out there. And, just a whole lot of bat speed in that frame, big, strong kid. And, the Troy commitment. He's honestly, Troy's got a really good baseball team, but that is for a kid that of his level, for him to still be committed there is pretty impressive on their behalf. So, he's somebody that maybe even generate a little draft interest down the line. But, he was somebody that was really, really impressive. And I actually had never had really a big chance to see him before, even being local here in Columbia. So that was really cool to see and, kind of who the guy is now and all that type of stuff. So, somebody that we're really going to want to be able to watch closely and is going to have a lot of success going forward. So Caden Reeves' big weekend there for Chapin obviously helped him bring home the title for the Classic. So kick it off there, and then another couple guys I wanted to touch on was Seth Manning, the South Carolina commit from TL Hanna. He went 5 innings, had 1 earned run and 7 strikeouts. He was as advertised, just as normal as what he normally comes out and expects to do. Throwing that really good fastball, 89 to 91 up to 92. A lot of carry, a lot of swings and misses on up in the zone there for him. That's going to be a pitch that always going to get past the hitters and things like that. And then he had this big breaking ball too that he was throwing in there as well. I'd say it's only average in terms of getting swings and misses and things like that, but he does have good control of it. And so just with those 2 pitches that he can really throw up in the zone there, then he's going to have a lot of success going forward as well. And then Bennett Edwards too. Lawrence didn't have the best weekend all the way through. I think they ended up 0-4 on the weekend, but Bennett's just always hitting. Got a good lefty swing there. A lot of rhythm in the load and stride and things like that, and a lot of bat speed in there, hand speed as well. So he's somebody that, and I tweeted it out, but he had a lot of really good at bats. One of them I saw he got down 1-2. And then made it a 9-pitch at bat, fouling off like 3 or 4 pitches, and ended up walking. It was leading off an inning in one of their games where they weren't even really in the game, but he's still going up there giving good at bats. So props to him for doing that. And then the last couple of guys here as well. Mac Berry for Chapin came out there. First time I got to see him in game. We saw him down at the Shipyard about a month ago at the preseason All-State, coming off football. And I remember him asking Sammy about, he felt like he was kind of cutting his fastball because he's coming off being the quarterback for the football team. So he was asking Sammy about some drills and things like that. But he was cutting the fastball at 83 and 85. And if he can locate it, I mean, it's not a problem. It's something that a couple of times he would start it to right-handed hitters. He would start in the left-hand batter's box and would come and catch the plate over at the very end before hitting the mitt. So, he had another really good showing, 6 innings, none earned, 7 strikeouts, and led to a victory there for Chapin. I want to say in game 2, which they played Lawrence, I believe, before I headed out of there on Friday morning. And then hopping over to James Island, who the first game wasn't great. They lost 10-5 to Chapin. Got jumped for 8 runs in the first inning. Chapin put up, so it was kind of a blowout early on. They made it a 10-5 game later on, but seeing Taj Marchand for the first time, I mean, that dude's just special. He's a lot of athleticism all the way through. He does it at shortstop. He does it on the mound. He ran the fastball up to 92 miles an hour. Just you can see it all the way through. The game just comes really easy to him. He's super athletic, and so he's going to compete at a very high level. Obviously committed to Ole Miss. We got to see him at the Future Games last year as well. So he's a guy that's got a lot of two-way capability. And this is just me, but I think he might be. I was always convinced he was a shortstop that also pitched. I think he's a pitcher long term. I think that's really what he's going to come out and be able to do really well at the his next step. So a lot of really good talent. It was really cool to see down there. It felt like on my first day, the first 2 games were more blowouts. I guess it was like a 10, like I said, 10-5 that first game, and then I forget what happened in the second game. And then the last 2 games on day 1 were a couple of exciting games. So, we had better players, I would say, in the first couple of games, but then better games to round out the night, which I thought was kind of exciting. With Daniel walking him off at the end of day 1, Jay Sean Perry hit a 2-run double to end the game 2-1, and that obviously led to Daniel end up going into the championship game in the Classic and almost pulled it out. I know they had a lead there late in the championship game today, but Daniel's another team that I'm pretty sure is going to be making a rise here if in the Power 25. If I'm not too far out now, I won't give anything away, but I think Daniel's going to be trending up a couple of spots. They had a pretty good showing as well. But yeah, overall, like I said, it was really exciting to be down there, and I can safely mark that off my South Carolina bucket list as being able to go down to the Classic. So that was an enjoyable experience, and I'm glad I got to go.
And we probably the best exposure on the weekend with the Classic.
Hey, and on top of that, about what we're about to unload afterwards with the partnership with Synergy that goes out there, right? For the listeners out there that don't really know, right? Synergy is used across all college programs out there, along with all major league teams. Right. So a major league organization, and that was one of the big things. We're partners with them here at Prep Baseball. that we're able to get them down there, and having some prospects down there that are possible draft guys. They were able to come down there and set up their cameras and collect all the data that these major league organizations can use and get into. So maybe a team couldn't get down there to scout, that they'll be able to dig into and look in the video post event. But we'll be able to use this event for content to be able to put out there for however long we want to, post event. So Sean doing his incredible work that he was able to put out there, but also Blake on the back end of the weekend, or not even the back end, the bulk of the weekend as well, for him putting it out there, going out there to continue on that Sean started off, and then we'll continue on once we get our hands and dive into the synergy stuff as well. So kudos to you and Blake going out there on the weekend and putting in the hustle out there in person, but now we'll be able to get in there on the back end and put a lot of stuff out there post event as well.
Yeah, definitely. And, shout out Blake too. I mean, he was there ultimately longer than I was, and he was doing a lot of good work as well. So I want to make sure he got some props. So shout out to Blake. We appreciate it.
Blake's watching us on his 70-inch right now.
He better be.
Not only did we have content rolling from the Classic, Coach Espo and Sean both hit it here. The Optera tournament, congratulations to Blythewood on their championship win. But again, a lot of talented teams, a lot of talented players.
It was again, Optera never lets us down. Usually, with how it sets up the beginning of the year, Austin's kind of rolling in on his way down to Shipyard, hits a random day, rolls on down to the Shipyard, and I'm kind of coming up from the Shipyard. And we're kind of banging that thing off, but how it worked out this year with ours being a week earlier, we were able to kind of tackle Optera, full bore this time, and not having to kind of drive back and forth across the state. But the Optera, just like Sean said, it didn't let us down, right? Right off the bat. And for us, I feel like this year in the Optera, it feels like in the past you've had a lot of higher level upperclassmen. This year, I feel like it was underclassmen galore for us, right? We were able to see top of the line, top prospects of the underclassmen, along with upperclassmen as well, right? Former future gamers, former junior future gamers, former or future gamers that are going to be on the list that we're seeing right off the bat. And obviously gracious hosts of Lexington High School, Coach Hucks and his program, and then also River Bluff with Coach Bonnet and his program, with Austin. I hate you missed it this year. Second to none hospitality suites that you get up there, and they take care of you and get everything you need. Sean was a little rattled the one day. He's having to run from our job to go off to his full-time job to go over there, and he's like, I got to run and get some food. I go, hey, hop up top and get some food, man. They take care of us up there. And he's like, he texts me, he got a barbecue platter, got a whole plate, got a thing taken care of. So right off the bat, big shout out to those guys for taking care of. But, I'll talk, a couple guys right off the bat, right? It was we got a little hairy with the possible tornadoes rolling through the Midlands here. It was supposed to start on Wednesday, pushed everything back a day onto Thursday. But it kind of, from a scheduling standpoint, selfishly for me, it worked out great, right? Because we were going to have two of the top 27s thrown at the exact same time Wednesday night. When I wound up pushing them and splitting it around. But we started the day off hot with Dorman, which, I mean, they had a big time showing down there, and they rolled out our number one player in the 27 class, Connor Wells, rolled down the mound. And you're talking about a 6'6" behemoth on the mound with left-handed that has every characteristic you want in a pitcher. And we've had the luck of seeing this young man for multiple years now. When he was on our junior futures team a couple years ago, and he was on our super sophomore team this past summer, and getting a chance to watch him again this past spring or this past weekend, where he rolls out and it's 88-90. But it's just progressing, right? And it's the slider, the pitchability, to be able to pitch in the glove side, and also the arm side, but also being able to locate a breaking ball. You see young pitchers a lot of the times that have good stuff, and maybe they don't know how to pitch a little bit, right? They just kind of throw it. And we've had the opportunity the past 2 weekends in a row to watch two power arm youngsters throw strikes and also throw breaking balls for strikes, with DeVries 2 weeks ago down in our deal, and now the Connor Wells this past weekend, and watching those two guys throw. And we put out videos on him and watching him behind the plate, and then also open side and watch that arm work. But Connor Wells is as talented as they come, with obviously the projectable frame. But he's also that young man. We've talked about this a ton before, where we've had a chance to see him, and he's going in the right direction, right? It wasn't where we saw him a year ago, and he was 88, 90, and he hadn't gotten any better. He was going in the right direction. But those poor hitters, when he was facing, it was kind of, they had no chance that night, and it had nothing to do with them as a hitter. He was in the zone, and he was stuffing them. But he was very talented. And another young man all of a sudden rolls out. They got a 2029 rolled in the batter's box. Connor Nash as well got there and able to watch. You don't really see too many, eighth graders. You don't talk about them too much, but you watching the athleticism, the strength, the physicality, and it stood out. The first swing he takes, line drive, and you got to go, okay, that guy's got it. Even though he's got a long way to go, it's not hard to pick that one off. And then, our matchup of the day, we sit there day 2 of that day with AC Flora versus Lexington. And you got Carter Harrington, a College of Charleston commit. Now we bump up to the upper class versus Brandon Cromer of Lexington, South Carolina commit. And, we're sitting back there, and me and a couple other college coaches, and we're like, all right, we got a pitcher's duel coming in here. And we roll out of there in the first inning. It's 3-2, and we got a 2-run home run off the bat. And you're like, all right, maybe we don't have a pitcher's duel going in here. But also in that game, another high-level 27, Christian Spivey, who was able to take a two-strike, which we've seen Christian for a couple years of as high level of a hitter as you're going to get, especially at that class. I don't care what class you're in, but he does a great job. Get 2 strikes, and he gets to pitch up and elevate and stays in there and drills one off the batter's eye for a 2-run home run off of Carter Harrington. But Carter Harrington was able to settle down, get into a groove and get his team in there. But an outstanding game for those guys. And AC Flora was able to scratch and claw and get some runs late in that game and win that one. And then the nightcap that game goes Malden against Blythewood. And Blythewood, very talented. Macon Leopard, 2025, very talented. He had an incredible weekend. Multiple home runs, line drives all over the place. Drew's point at me, I guess I'll quit talking about him. But line drives all over the place. But a super 27 right here, another super sophomore we had last year, Brendan New, stole the show right off the bat. He gets to start that night, 86-89 with a great breaking ball. And no, by the way, his first swing in the bat, line drive home run. Next at bat, hooks a double down the line for 2 RBIs. So his first 2 at bats of the tournament, he goes 4 RBIs. So it was it started off hot, and the tournament went great. And then over the next couple of days, me and Sean were kind of bouncing back and forth. But it was fun for me selfishly, especially being a local Midlands guy here. We got to see some of the Midlands team, but I wanted to kind of focus on a lot of the out of area teams. Stratford. Right, Jared Wagner. I was able to watch my daughter's first softball game. Big shout out to Lil over here because she got the game ball. So we'll go ahead 4 for 4 her first softball game. So we'll give a shout out to her. Who left that game, walked over there. Sean hung in there for a little bit before you can go watch Big Jared Wagner on the mound. 2026 going 86-89 with a good breaking ball. A lot of emotion competing. So those are some good ones for us this year. I thought, these Midlands teams, there's a lot of them in here. But there's a lot of out-of-area ones, Spartanburg, Dorman, Malden, Stratford, able to kind of lock in on those and see some of those out-of-area ones that aren't right around the corner, right? I can walk over to Florida and watch those guys whenever I need to. But it was a good turnout, good weekend for us for the Optera.
Oh yeah, me too. Yeah, well, I got to see Brooklyn Casey and Berkeley down there. That was my one game that I went and saw yesterday. So that was a good one to get out there and see. We saw 2027 Rylan Bullis on the mound for Brooklyn Casey, who I mentioned about another player earlier. But yeah, we got to see him down at the Shipyard again in that preseason All-State South showcase at the very beginning of the season. And he was a guy that I remember watching him when he was throwing. I was like, okay, who's this? And they're like, oh yeah, this is the kid from BC who's right nearby, and he was throwing varsity playoff innings as an 8th grader. Where I was like, okay, this is that guy. Yeah. Anyway, so Ryland goes out there. He was 80-81 with fastball on a really good low slot, mixed in a slider and a curveball and a changeup. He was getting swings and misses on everything. It's like I said, deceptive slot and something that's going to get a lot of swings and misses going forward. And then with the bat as well from Ryland, he had a big double that we got video of, and then he had a big grand slam later on in the game as well. So he's got some real two-way capabilities in there. Brogan Sox, a 2026 infielder as well from BC. He had a big double in the game. It was a nice short swing with some power in there. They ended up taking the loss there to Berkeley only because Ryland was outdone by his counterpart, Keller Wofford from Berkeley. He was about 78-80 with the fastball, but some good carry and some good swings and misses on there as well. He was up to a 4 1/3, I believe, with about 8 strikeouts. He got some good video in there as well. So, good showing from him. And then they had uncommitted senior Ryan Richardson had a big double in the game. It was he's a pretty good athlete and had a good short swing in there as well. So for that one game, it was kind of interesting. And Drew and I talked about it on the other show, but it was like 1-0 headed to the fourth, and then the floodgates just opened up, and the game ended like 12-5. We had like 15 or 16 runs in the last 4 innings there. So once those starters kind of got tired and they got working into the bullpen, then the bats really started to wake up. So that was a good first game to see. And then like Sammy said, I sat around there and waited for the Stratford Lexington game to open up before I had to head over to Founders and cover my game down there. So anyway, it was cool to kind of double dip and get a little more action from some teams that maybe we wouldn't normally be able to see. And obviously in 2 different locations for me this past week. So that was overall really exciting and a good way to cap my week of travel for PBR. So it was fun.
Hey, the heat sheet, another plus week in the heat sheet. Now we didn't have anybody top number 1, but
is anybody going to top number 1?
Well, I don't know. I'm not going to say no, but it's going to be hard. But that cracking that top 10 is going to be tough this year. And we might have to change our tactics on this graphic because it might hold the line. We might have to change our graphic, but God almighty, I mean, the heat sheet off the bat in little old South Carolina, we got some nail gun heaters out there flowing around, little Palmetto Gas, boys.
95 is a big number.
We haven't seen yet either. We got some guys who we got some returning guys that were at the top of that sheet last year. We got to get Drew out there on them.
I knew that was coming.
Yeah. Hey, Drew. Yeah,
102.
Don't worry. Drew's gun's going to beat that. Don't worry about it, boys. If you think
95, that's weak.
DeVries, if I go to a game, you have no chance of staying number 1.
Well, all you got to do is go watch DeVries again. Then he'll be 98 to 1,000. He'll be all right.
It's about accurate.
Looks like it.
Obviously, our preseason tournaments are over as we head into region play starting this week. And with that being said, since the tournaments are over, our Power 25 update is here. A decent amount of shakeup in the Power 25. So we'll get to that right now, boys. Let's present.
Yeah, fire this thing up.
They got to give people what they want.
Let's see what we got. Let's start something. We're starting something.
Aren't we always starting something, boy? Oh, yeah, I switched it back. Sorry.
We ranked Drew number 25.
All right. As we move into the Power 25, this is our week 1 update. Well, y'all, how am I gonna? Here we go. Coming in at number 25, new to the Power 25, is Batesburg Leesville. Big week for Batesburg Leesville. We talked about them earlier on the recap show. Make sure you have a subscription for that. But here they are, boys. They got our boy. So
they do, Coach. They're going to be. They always fire a few shots at us on these things, and they're going to be fired up to be in this one. They always want some respect. Yeah, they always got a good team, and maybe we don't. Maybe we don't add them on there enough, but they're going to be climbing. I think they're going to be climbing up these charts this year. Is my take on these boys.
Which I think I picked them to win 2A. Are they 2A?
Yeah.
Austin has no clue.
Gotta hope they're 2A. I'm 90% sure I picked them to win 2A, whether they're 2A or not. So hey,
They're going to win it one way or the other.
they're gonna win something. I don't know if it's gonna be 2A or not. They're gonna win it.
As we move to 24th, Augusta Christian is still remaining in the Power 25. Big week, right, Sean?
Skeeza, baby. Yeah, boy. They went out there and had a couple of good games as well. They mixed it up with some Georgia teams in there. So, got to see some real good baseball, right? Because it's all really good in Georgia all the time. So they went 1-1 against a strong Evans team. So.
Wrong show.
You're out.
They went 1-1 against a good Evans team down there and played a couple other good squads as well. So they're going to remain in the Power 25. And if you get your subscription, you can see where they're at in the Skeeza rankings in the top 10.
Well, as we move to 23, Bishop, England, they do move down from 22. However, they have probably one of the top players in the state, right, Espo?
They do. It was a little rough one, but they got a guy that's there was a lot of heat in to watch this past weekend for him. So they another, speaking of another preseason tournament, another big one that they just played in down there. So they're a team up and coming with a very talented left-hander with a power bat there with Weiner, but I have a feeling they'll kind of get some kinks and they'll be moving in the right direction as well. But they played in a very, very talented preseason tournament as well, as they'll get the ball rolling in the right direction.
As we move to number 22, Lugoff Elgin, a Shipyard Showdown participant. They are down from 15, but
okay. This is the one that's going to go the other way once old big lefty gets on the mound come Tuesday. So that's the rumor on the street. We'll see if it holds, but yeah, that's I don't know how many innings he's out there or not, but he's supposed to start pitching. So once he gets on that mound, the unicorn.
He had an absolute. I don't remember if we got to talk about it or not, Drew, but absolute jacked in that game down there that night. So I don't think we have to panic about them because they did a very similar thing at Shipyard last year, and righted that ship. I think they've still got. There's plenty of talent on that team. Good coaching staff. They're gonna get those kinks worked out. It'll be just fine.
And the Eddie Tisdale boost money too.
As you move to 21, a new team to the Power 25, Bowling Springs. Coach Espo, it feels like every year they're somewhere in these Power 25, and they always start out outside of it, yet they climb in. Really competitive bunch here with Bowling Springs.
Well, they were on the out. I hate saying on the outside looking in. They were on that kind of that next group. Right, are they in? Are they out? Are they in? Are they out? We probably should have had them in initially in week one, but to your point, like they're always right there. They're always very talented, and they always find their way in there. And maybe we should listen to ourselves a little bit more instead of not listening to ourselves on that one. But they let their game speak for themselves with their talented players and their good coaching staff. So. They're where they need to be, and they're going to be doing what they're supposed to be doing.
Another team that's kind of what you just basically talked about, new to the Power 25, but they were on that group out, is North Myrtle, another competitive group.
Yeah, again, just like Boiling Springs, right? They were kind of in that next group, ready to roll in there. Kind of got some new guys into the program. Got a couple, big name left. Had another couple guys. What are they going to be? Well, here they are. So we probably should have, as an old boss of mine said, stick with your gut, and we didn't. But here they go. We'll listen to them.
It all takes out.
Our Myrtle Beach scout will have to get out there and see them for us.
I need about 2 weeks off after the Classic. As you move to 19,
kind of like our Seneca scout, 2 weeks off after the Shipyard.
Who's that? I don't know who that is. I mean, you got one there. Okay, never mind. Let's keep moving here. Down from 17.
I am completely out of this before I get hit with something.
Austin, your time's coming. Number 19 being the Stewie Hawks. They are down from 17. A little tough start at the Shipyard Showdown, but the talent is there. Austin, you saw them enough. What we got right here?
Yeah, I think we assumed that they were going to be down from last year, and I think overall on paper too that they probably are down from last year. But they still they got some pieces on that roster right there. That's going to be a talented team. They got a couple of arms. They got the 8th grader. That man, he's really good, and Ballard threw the ball well the other night. They got catcher named, yes, there you go, Spravero. I think there's enough talent on that team. They're gonna make a run. They're gonna surprise some people. I think they got some young players who, when you got 8th graders in the starting rotation and in the starting lineup, you kind of gotta. It'll take them a little bit to get going, but I'll be shocked if that team doesn't make some noise by the end of the year.
Always find a way. Number 18 is Stratford. They're down from 12. However, Espo got to see him. Sean got to see him. What we got here, boys?
They were kind of a team where you watch them one day, and I kind of feel comfortable saying this, talking to one of their parents up there in the stands. It was like one game you go, this team, like it might have been their first time practicing all year. And then the next day you go, this might be one of the better teams in the state. And like it's kind of, again, it's high school baseball. It's early on. It's their first cracks at it. But they got a couple, they got the arms. They got some position players. They got some pieces. They got some age. They're just trying to figure it out. The arm, we were there to see on Saturday, had just come off of, a little bit of a health scare, but it was a nothing now. It was a nothing now. So he had some time off. So he's going to be getting himself going. So they're going to have a 1-2 punch. And their shortstop is uber talented, but he's probably going to ultimately be a Division I college football player, and not many people can say that across the state of baseball in South Carolina. And they got some gritty, tough guys. So it's weird saying, oh, I don't know which kind of team this is, but it is still it's week 1 of high school baseball for them. So what's it going to be? But you kind of saw it over the course of their 4 games. They had a bad game, they had a great game, and they had a couple right in the middle. But they got the pieces of the puzzle, and they're going to have a couple guys on that pitching staff that are going to be up there and go and compete and beat anybody in the state. So
faced a good arm yesterday too. Faced a good arm yesterday too. Right? How did that lineup fare against the Citadel kid?
They had their cracks. They were right there. They ended up tying. They ended up tying. So you say that, but if it was a regular season game, they're not going to have that. But they had a couple chances late to win it, and just didn't execute it. Or the one time they had a hard ground ball hit into a double play. That was a great play up the middle by Graham Campbell for Lexington. But like they had some plays that went against them. But you see, if that ball gets up the middle a little bit more, it's in there a little bit more, whatever it goes, it's whatever. But they were right there. They had a chance, and they get in there and they had good at bats, good quality at bats against them. So it's a good team. I think where we might have had them early on is maybe where they might be, but they're pretty good.
Yeah, they might end up back there. However, before we get to number 17, you got 2 words for you. You're welcome. Number 17 is the Fighting Eddie Tisdales. May River, we told you to just win, and that's what they went out and did, and beat a pretty good Gilbert team. And here they are at number 17.
Yeah, boy, they were lighting us up all last week. They were lighting us up all last week.
They were lighting us up, and some of us picked to be their state champion, or at least lower state. Come on, come on, now.
Yeah,
you're a Georgia guy.
Are you bringing that one back? I've been to the Classic. You ain't.
Oh, this
They do have a good team. They, that was another one that was on the bubble, and we kind of left them off, and we heard about it by God, and they let us know. But they are talented, and they obviously they want to prove a point. They're out there to prove a point, and they got some depth, they got some age, they got some young guys, and they seem to be a fun team to go out there and watch. So we'll have to find a way to go see them boys.
Fins up.
Look at this right here, boys. We hadn't caught much slack this year, but here they are. They're back in the Power 25. They got 2 big wins against Airport and Fox Creek. And here they are at number 16. The Green Wave are back.
They're back again.
And they beat a good Cardinal Newman team too. Yeah, I mean, that was kind of exciting too to be able to. I mean, we didn't get to go down and see them obviously, but when you beat quality programs that have a lot of tradition at the beginning of the season, you're like, okay, yeah, we're going to be able to hang with pretty much anybody. So Drew and I talked about it earlier too, but graduating a lot of obviously that crazy class that they had last year with a couple of draft picks and things like that. You're gonna come down from whatever it was before, but I mean, yeah, just with the tradition that they have, I mean, it's not a surprise whatsoever to see them have a whole lot of success here at the very beginning of the year.
They always find a way. And maybe they should up the rankings. Now we moved to 15. They're up 4 spots from 19, and they went belt to what against Bishop England. The Gilbert is here. They move up. Really good squad at Gilbert. I think some of us, I don't remember. I don't remember who picked what anymore. But Espo, this is not your neck of the woods, but close enough to you.
Coach, it's close enough. If I was heading down there, if we didn't have the hurricanes, tornadoes coming through here, I was going to make my way on that one day to head on down there. But the change of plans with the hurricane, the Gilbert boy, there's something about them over there. They got some pitching. They got a good lineup. They got something to prove too. So obviously they weren't scared of facing some arm strength, of facing some talented players in that tournament, and I think they're going to do some big things this year. So they kind of got a little bit of everything over there in that.
Coach, what are we doing right now?
Gilbert.
I was about to say, I feel like we caught Coach in the middle of changing pants.
Coach, I'm doing a lot. Coach, I'm doing a lot. Coach,
there's a lot happening in there.
Coach, it's a Sunday night in the Esposito household. There's a lot of stuff going on.
Okay.
Gotta get the kids
There's a lot of stuff.
Got a big day of school.
Coach, there's a lot of stuff going on here. When you go to the Savannah Bananas game all day, and then your wife goes to the grocery store and you're trying to get your kids ready to go to bed too, you get in the bath. A lot of action. Some people on the show might be listening and go, "Know what the hell that guy's talking about?" You slappies don't.
Some of these people. Side note here, Coach, people have been trying to go see the Bananas their whole life. I feel like you've been 12 times.
Coach, we've been 5 times now. We are VIBs, as they call us. Very important Bananas.
Jesus.
Hey, I'm gonna throw this one out here in the middle of number 25 of the Power 20. So it was raining all day in Savannah. We got lucked out. They switched up. So if you've gone in the past down to Savannah, it was almost like you got a ticket and you got to sit wherever you wanted to. There's a couple areas that were reserved, but it was like the gates open, floodgate. You go sit wherever you wanted. Well, now you kind of buy them in areas. So at first we were like, we don't want to sit under the overhang. We want to sit out like down the line so you can catch a foul ball. Boom. We want to get an out for the boys. You know what I mean? Well, now we're like, you know what? It's supposed to rain. Maybe the overhang's great because we're standing in the line to get in. It's raining on us. We're like, this is going to be terrible. Right. But they've also new turf field. If it probably wasn't a turf field, they probably wouldn't have played today. Got brand new lights, LED lights, things flying all over the place. Got brand new video. The Bananas got it rolling. I mean, I tell people this all the time. People go, "Oh, it's not," but no, it ain't baseball, and they tell you it ain't baseball. If you're going for a traditional game, don't go. But my girls can care less about watching one more baseball game. They love going down there. they care less about hopping in the car and driving 2.5 hours. They will drive 2.5 hours every single day to go watch a Bananas game. It's like the greatest show in the world. As Drew knows, I'm a full advocate of the Bananas. They can put me on the payroll. I'll go, as my director of sales also knows, I will be a director of sales for the Bananas. I mean, it's incredible. I mean, it's the greatest like entertainment that's out there. You name it, they got it.
Yeah, I'm making my first trip when they come to up here in Pickens County. So
yeah, I mean it's gonna be good. We haven't been outside of Savannah, so I don't know what it's like when you go like to another state. So like in Savannah, when you go, you buy your ticket, whatever it is, you get free food in Savannah. So it's like a food trough. You go through a line, you get a free hamburger or a free chicken sandwich or free cheeseburger, hot dog, a bag of chips, a drink, blah, blah, blah. Now, if you want an adult beverage or you want some candy or something like that, you got to pay for that. But if you want the regular food, it's free. So you take a family of the 74 in this household and you go down there, it's a damn good deal.
Nice. I thought they were going on the road. They're going out west or something next, I think.
Oh,
yeah. I might go. You know what I mean? I might just PBSC's there. You know what I mean?
Might as well. I think you need to start live tweeting that.
he live texted to me.
At number 14, we got the Savannah Bananas.
Yeah, well, at number 14, the party animal, they might be his favorite team. Fox Creek, they are up 6 spots here. Some big wins on the week, and here are the Predators.
Fox Creek keeps doing it. How many years in a row is this now for Fox Creek? They just keep doing it.
I don't know. It's like
2.5 years. I feel like they just keep killing it. I mean, they just keep they got a little bit of everything. They got the arm strength. They got the pitchability. They got some power bats. They're just
giving
rolling.
the people what they want.
They're giving people they want. They do have a coach. More importantly, a couple years ago, they didn't have one.
The last time I watched them, they didn't. So hey, they got it going. I might have to make a trip with Fox Creek, and I'm not even sure where it is.
It's way down there.
Way down.
No, it's not.
Okay.
It's near Georgia. It's near. Yeah, it's not way down there.
It's more a Sean spot near Georgia.
No, you got it.
Yeah.
It's fine. I picked them to win the state title, so they want me there.
Number 13. Here they are. They won the Emerald
Rebs.
Classic. Mid Carolina, the Rebs, as Sean calls them. Really good team again. Here they are.
Big shock right there. Rolling again. I don't know why some of these teams, we might as well just list them like 1 through 12 and just let everybody else fight them out. And this is one of them, right? I mean, it's one of those teams they always got really good players that I don't want to say they get overlooked, but they're like everybody's like, oh, did you realize so-and-so's there? And you're like, yeah, that kid's a really good player. And they almost like people get on them late up there. But they fight and scratch and claw, and they're going to be there when it all shakes out at the end. And we might as well we should make a move. We're going to put them in the top 12 every year. Move on from it.
What tournament they went? They won whatever it was they were in, right? Which one were they
Emerald
in?
Classic.
Emerald Classic.
Okay.
Took down Emerald in the championship. Close to 4-2. All right.
Yeah.
Watch out for those Emerald Vikings too, by the way. Mm-hmm.
Not in the Power
12.
Not Power 25 yet.
Now, as we move into the top 12 here, now some of these teams have fallen some spots, and that's not due to their win-loss record. It's due to some teams winning some big games, going undefeated, so they were able to jump. So as we move to number 12, we have Southside Christian. They do move down, however, but another really good team with some good arms. They move up to 3A this year, and they're still, well, you have to see the classification ranks to have a description of where they are in those 3A ranks. But here they are at number 12, another competitive team.
I mean, when you got two lefties that you 1-2 punch, or in any of your top 3 or 4 guys. I mean, they got we'll find out where they're going to be if they're 1-2 or 1-3 or 1-4, whatever they are. But and then you got a talented catcher back there that can catch and throw and hit as well. I mean, they got a bunch of pieces. I guess their biggest one is going to be making that move up. How's the depth? How's that stuff going to shake out? But Southside, obviously, another very talented year and talented group on the field for the boys.
That is a pretty big drop, I'd say, for losing a 7-0 game to a 5A team. But whatever. They're 3-1. Who makes
Drew Chat GPT.
What? Hey, a lot of people are in these Instagram comments are popping, y'all, and not towards me anymore.
We're not talking about anything inappropriate this time.
Samuel send you the picture.
We prefer our comments to be about baseball, not.
Yeah, maybe our comments are good, boys. You can talk crap to each other, just not to the host on the show.
Anybody's appendages or anything.
Number 11 is Catawba Ridge here. A Shipyard Showdown team that did move down. Another really good team who's got a really big series coming up who we'll get to here shortly. But here are the Copperheads.
Yeah, I don't think they had a showing they wanted it at the Shipyard. Maybe not even the showing some of us expected, but that's still going to be a good team. They're good. I mean, they're good every year. They got one of the best arms in the state, if not the best arm in the state. I mean, they're just give them a little time. They'll be there.
They're going to find out real quick. They got Fort Mill this week.
Yeah, I was about to say it's. I mean, how about that? You come off. You have a very challenging preseason tournament, and then you roll in, and your first region play is. We'll find out where they're ranked here shortly, but you're going to roll into an uber talented team in your region. See where you're at. See what happens.
It could be a lot of shakeup next when we do the next one. How about this one? Austin might jump out of his damn seat on this. Here they are, the Fury, rolling to the top 10, up from number 16. They're 6-1. A big week at the Shipyard Showdown. Then they go back home and win the Fountain Inn Classic.
Coach Flip Flop over there, man. He's gonna be hot. He is gonna be hot. He was upset about number 16 to start with. So we set them up, but then they go down there. They make it to the championship of the Shipyard, and then they go home, have their own tournament, and win their own tournament. So. I don't even know. Was their tournament actually on the schedule, or did they go down there and decide, you know what, hey, we're playing good right now. Let's start our own real quick.
It was on the schedule.
So, okay, it was already on the schedule.
Yeah, they felt good about themselves.
Beat Blue Ridge in the championship game the other day. I mean, that's a good team. And they apparently went home and just start. They couldn't keep the ball in the yard. So
hey, there's a Palmetto Power Team of the Week. 6 homers in one game.
Six.
I saw Joel Irizarry hit 2 in one game. I think in the championship game. So
it's just more than a uniform, coach.
Yeah, Irizarry hit 2. Anderson Hayes got 1. He pitched a good ball game down at the Shipyard. So
Kelly got here
1. Carter Kelly opened his mind for sure.
Carter Kelly jumping the yard. I mean, what the heck, boys?
Yeah, the boys are. Watch out now.
All that we can't hit sandbagging. Yeah, y'all can take that somewhere else, guys.
That's cool, man. Hey, they have a huge series this week, which we'll get to here shortly as well with some predictions. We're going to get to them soon. Now, as you move to number 9, here they are, the Land Sharks, shooting up the rankings. The Shipyard Showdown champs. I think we were a little low on them in the year, but they jump up. A lot of talent on this team as well.
Yeah, I think we're still too low on this one.
Yeah, I'm kind of yeah. Now the only thing that I guess would be a negative with them is they had the injury of the one pitcher when he was sliding into second. See how long he's going to be out for. But yeah, that's a talented team. right? I mean, they had speed, they had power, they got some power arms, they got pitchability arms, they got age, they got youngsters. Ooh, that's a good group. Oceanside, I know they keep winning. I don't care what classification they're at. They won last year. They're going to win again. Somebody's like, I don't know if they're as talented as 2 years. It don't matter. They just whip everybody. So
no, I mean that's exactly what I was thinking about. Was I figured that obviously they got Palmer up there, and then like you said, Fergola, but unfortunately he got banged up there at the end. But I was like, they'll probably take a little bit of a step back just because they're a little younger this year. But no, that train just keeps on churning there. I mean, they just they roll out good players. They play the game the right way. They got good coaching. I mean, yeah, that's a team that you cannot sleep on in any capacity, no matter who they got out there. So.
Mm-hmm.
It's about to get fun, guys.
So it is a myth that you come play in the Shipyard tournament, you automatically get ranked high. They won it, and they're still number 9. So
yeah.
Well, we're going to get to who's ranked higher. I'm going to let Sean take over for number 8 right here, since he's a big fan. Number 8, Wildcat.
The Cats. They dropped the game to a good Florida team. Obviously, Sammy highlighted it a little bit before, but they went back out there and competed obviously in that last game on Saturday. Against a good arm with Wagner getting in there from Stratford. So they're still going to be. They're really deep, and I love Christian Spivey. Like you saying, he's highlighted a couple of times, but sophomore hitting in that 2-hole up there right behind Brandon Cromer, and that top 2 punch I think is going to be really, really good and tough to get out at the beginning of games for whoever it is that they face. So Lexington's going to bounce back. Didn't have as much success this year, but they know it's a long at the Optera, but they know it's a long season, and they got a lot more important games to play down the road. So they're going to respond. I believe in them.
I believe in them.
We joked down there at the Shipyard about Oceanside getting Glauber and DeVries thrown at them early, and Lexington rolls down here and gets Harrington and
Wagner
thrown at them. So a couple of these teams in the state, 8 and 9, man, they've seen some of the best arms this state's got to offer. So
yeah,
which is good. Especially usually because the bats are a little behind right now, and those 2 teams run out some good ABs against really, really good arms. So it's gonna be good for the future.
As you move to 7 and 6, this is the biggest jump. These teams were not ranked in the Power 25.
Jeez.
Well, let's see who they are. Number 7 is the Dorman Cavaliers. Sammy, you told me about them. How good are they?
Coach, they were extremely impressive this past weekend. I mean, they had a deep lineup. They had pitchers. They got age. I mean, even though Wells, he's still young, but I feel like he's extremely. We've watched him do it for multiple years, but he's still a young guy, but he's figuring it out. I mean, they went 3-1 over here at the Optera against very talented teams, and kind of in their wins, they didn't really have many issues against any teams, and kind of did it multiple ways. They got athletic lineup, they got hitters, they got guys that can hit for some power. Coach Jolly, he's got himself a very talented team this year. And I know a lot of times in these preseason tournaments, you get into game 4, everybody's pitching staff's taxed. There ain't many college programs that got a 4-starter. So it's kind of maybe you have one and he's just not ready to throw on day 4 at this moment in time. How it works out, but or maybe he's more of a reliever and you try to extend him a little bit more. But this is going to be a scary team rolling in the season. Coach Jolly's got for Dorman, so watch out for the Cavs this year.
Everybody's got a 4-starter. They just hope they ain't got to use them.
True.
Hoping he can keep the book this year.
Yeah.
And we moved to 6. The who took down Dorman. Here they are. Blythewood, another really good team. They jumped way up.
Kind of makes me wonder how we missed those 2 teams in the first go at it.
There are just some questions, I guess.
we're just not giving the people what they really wanted.
They answered the questions.
Hey, you
know what I mean?
They proved it.
I mean, in Blythewood, I mean, to me, Blythewood, we butchered that more than I want to say, than most of them, I want to say, on this one. I think we had a better feel probably for Blythewood's offense than what we did. Maybe they had some younger guys that were having to fill some bigger holes in the lineup now that were, last year were maybe like 7, 8, 9 hole hitters that are now having to be like their 4 or 5 hole hitters. So that kind of maybe throws you off a little bit more. But Macon Leppert might be the hottest hitter in the nation right now. He hit, I don't know how many home runs and balls on the barrels over the 2-3 games I watched him play, and just continued on. And obviously does a great job behind the plate, gas and commit, and pitching. Got a chance to watch Johnny Collins throw the other day, former future gamer. Good fastball, really good breaking balls. And that's a guy that he obviously got put back a day again because of weather on that one. But that's a very, very, very talented arm that's going to have a chance when he's on to beat or keep his team in there against most team he's playing. So he's a really, really talented arm. And Blythewood, damn, I think we really screwed that one up probably to start this one off. But they're probably where they probably need to be right now. But obviously a very talented weekend for those boys.
Johnny Collins looked huge in those couple of like just physically large as when you have those videos of him. So yeah, I mean, you said it, he was upper 80s there with fastball, but I can guarantee that fastball is only going to tick up even more. He's got some good athleticism and high waisted frame. So that's got all the makings of something that's going to only get better. So yeah, I mean, obviously pretty close for me and Sammy to go down the road, and we'll have to make some time to go see him again, huh?
Yeah, and he is a. And that's another one, we talked about young man earlier, but this is a guy who's also a football player. We're talking about with Davis at Stratford. This is another guy who's quarterback. Sean, I know your cohorts down at Georgia always call it QB1s here. But
sure do.
Another quarterback in the state that's got a scholarship offer for football. So it eliminate all that, but it just speaks to the athleticism, the dual sport player that's got scholarship offers. And I know a certain college was in town to watch him throw, but with it getting pushed back, their game was being played, so they weren't able to watch him throw. But they were asking for updates of how he was doing. So, he's a guy that is going to have multiple sport offers. So, it's a very talented team. It's a very talented players, individuals, and kind of watching them play. They played with a little, character, a little pizzazz, and they were out there to try to prove a little point.
Is he related to the other Collins that was there a couple years ago?
Harrison
brother,
Collins?
Yeah.
Yeah, the one who was a quarterback and also, yeah, because I mean, how big that kid was. I mean, that's what I'm thinking. When watching Johnny, he's skinny, So I mean, there's a lot more weight to be put on. I feel like too.
I'll just never forget Johnny at the shipyard over the summer.
First time I ever saw Johnny, I got right out of him.
Could have got a scholarship offer on the spot.
Sammy, you got to see both, so you got to be the judge here. I hate to put you on the spot. Who got a better preseason tournament, Macon Leppert or Brady Gold?
Statistically, Brady Gold. I mean, Brady Gold was 13 for 15.
Brady could not get a hit the rest of the year, and he'd still hit 400.
Holy shit, he was 13 for 15?
He was 13 for 15. Macon, statistically, I don't know exactly what he ended up. He was not 13 for 15.
His slugging
was
higher.
Yeah, his slugging was probably higher. Drove out, hit more home runs, didn't come more doubles. But Brady was 13 for 15. I think Brady had 2 or 3 doubles and a triple.
It's hard to do.
And sometimes, as y'all know, at the shipyard, there might be some days it don't matter. You ain't hitting the ball out of that park, depending on which one of those fields you're at. But I would, if you're just going to go statistically based, you go Brady Gold with being 13 for 15. We joked the whole time that he didn't get out, and we were about right.
I think of the third night, I think I told you so. I don't think Brady's got out this whole weekend, and then really, I think he actually didn't. So
Yeah, but Macon did. I mean, Macon did wear it out. I mean, he didn't. There weren't many swings he took. There was a couple he got himself out on, and he knew it. It was almost like mid swing. He was like cussing himself, like, "Why am I swinging at this right now?" But I mean, it was home run, double, line drive, single. I mean, it was impressive.
We got to check the air down there in Columbia, man. There's some balls flying out of the Midlands right now. Holy smokes!
Boy, it was a good weekend to hit in Lexington. I'll tell you that.
There's one park in the Midlands I ain't seen many fly out of, but I'm gonna leave that alone to keep from hurting Sean's feelings.
Since we're on the subject of Macon Leopard and Blythewood, I think it's just time to go ahead and reveal this. Your Palmetto.
That bat flip too.
Two homers in the game, Coach.
2 homers in the game.
The catcher knew it too. He went to adjust his earpiece. He said, "Man, I got to get a new ball here, guys."
He was like, "This is working. Like we called the wrong pitch."
Whatever that pitch was, don't call it again. Thanks. I think we tipped that one.
Hey.
I might have set up a little too early.
A senior future alum, Macon Leopard gets the Palmetto Power for 2 homers in 1 game. Now we'll move forward here. We move to the top 5. We're going to stay in the Midlands. Here they are. The Falcons come in at number 5. Really hot start to the Optera, taking down Lexington.
We dubbed it our game of the week, whatever it was. And that was a hell of a ball game, right? You got 2 talented teams with 2 great coaches battling out with multiple state championships. And Flores. I talked to Coach Allett after that first game. I go, I think we've upset some of the dads here in the Midlands by ranking you so high. And in Hallett's words, I gotta be a little PG. The hell with that. I want to be as high as we can. I want to be number 1. But it's a talented team, man. It's a deep lineup. It's got guys that have been in the lineup for multiple years. It's got a senior at the top, Zach Sneed, going to the Citadel. It's got some juniors littered through that middle. It's got some sophomores at the back end. It's just got a lot of guys that have played a lot of baseball in that Falcons uniform for Coach Allett, who, let's be honest, all he does is win and knows how to win in that program. But now that pitching staff is deep. It's got a lot of pieces. And Carter Harrington up top, College of Charleston starts with him. He's 88, 90. He's been up to 91 before with a lower slot with some sink and a good slider and a changeup, and it don't just end there. It's got multiple guys going in there, and they got relievers, they got side armors as Howard has always had, and they got some lefties. So it's a deep team, and they were in the mix there. If they'd have kept winning, boot that thing up in there. But it'll be fun to see how those guys go from here on out. But Coach Allett's got them squad this year, so watch out here in the Midlands, boys.
The Midlands teams are rolling. Now, as we move to 4, this came down to the wire of where this team was going to be. It could have had a chance to be up further, but here they are. The Daniel Lions, they move up from number 6. They're in the top 5 now. Big series coming this week, but the Lions are here, and there's a sound that goes with it.
I was going to say, where's your graphic, Coach?
No, you're going to get the graphic when we move to the series 2-game series of the week. But the train horn has sounded, and here are the Lions. Really good team. Sean, I know you got to see them early at the Classic.
Yeah, it was a good game down there. They played Lucy Beckham, like I mentioned before. It was that 2-1 game that ended in walk-up fashion with senior Jaysean Perry walking him off at the very end there. They had a good start from Ian McCrary, 2025 right-handed pitcher. He was up to about 80. He was 83 with fastball or so. I wrote down his line somewhere. Yeah, 5 innings, 11 strikeouts against a pretty good Lucy Beckham team, I feel like. So yeah, he went out there and really shoved, and he was a guy that just kind of had his way on the mound out there on that day. But also got to see Lee Turnipseed, the Charleston Southern commit, shortstop, pretty good little shortstop. Just really good player all the way around. It feels like he doesn't really had a lot of holes in his game. Not super flashy, I guess, but runs the bases well, defends well. He's probably going to land wherever it is on the infield at the next level, but he's playing shortstop still now. Got a pretty left-handed swing as well. So them, and then not to mention obviously Spencer Kahn. I don't know, I forget, Drew. Where's he committed for football?
Is it Morehead State?
Yeah,
No.
I think it might. Yeah.
Okay. Well, anyway, but he's a big guy that unfortunately in that one game I was trying to get video of him and he didn't do anything in that one game. But nobody really was. There wasn't a whole lot of offense to speak of that day. But he's a big kid hitting that 3 spot there in the order for him. And obviously Jaysean Perry, like I mentioned before, leading off. He's pretty twitchy. There you go, Murray State, not Morehead State. Morehead State just played the Gamecocks here. So. But yeah, Daniel's a really good team, and they had a really good showing out there at the Classic, and nearly brought it home. I know, like I mentioned before, Drew, they had a late lead, but unfortunately gave it up to Chapin there at the end. But yeah, I mean, they're a team that's going to go deep and have a lot of success this season.
He's Murray State.
Murray State.
Thanks, Drew. Appreciate you.
Thanks, Drew.
It was the comments, guys. I didn't remember his comments. The bench
right
mafia at Daniel, my favorite. My favorite.
Went right over your head, Drew. Sean got it in the middle of his own talking, and you were eating a fingernail.
Well, I'm moving to watch it. Screw y'all. Let's move to 3. Here they are, Fort Mill Yellow Jackets coming in at number 3. Big series.
Yeah. Hey, Sean's boy up there, Fort Mill. They're going to have a lot to prove this coming up week, right? They had just coming off a preseason tournament and took care of business up there. But that talented squad, I mean, it's another one. They've had a lot of success over the past few years with these youngsters becoming now old guys, and they've played a lot of baseball. But it's going to be fun to watch them roll and see how they shake off that region up there. Will make some people mad, but that might be one of the better regions right now. So it's going to start off hot for them boys, and we'll see how this one shakes off.
They've been eating their ham and cheese sandwiches, Coach. That's what's been going on over there. But I really enjoyed. I followed them on Twitter, and they at the end of every game, the coach takes a picture with a kid and one of their players and puts it out there with some stats for the game and players of the game. And I was like, hey, that's not no video from the game, which is totally okay, but get a little wrap up, and coach says, hey, here's what happened. So I actually really enjoyed that. So keep doing that, and we'll keep rolling here with the Hornets.
We're going to get Cat May to go up there and cover a game for us this week.
Hey, Austin's the only one. Apparently we got to do it. Coach Espo. They're called. You remember what they were called? The Real Deal Fort Mill. The Real Deal
What are you
Fort
talking
Mill.
about?
You want to remember this from last year, Coach Espo?
He's
The Real Deal Fort Mill.
His AirPod died.
Yeah, Espo's lost. Hey, Austin has no clue about this. Now, Austin, we got 2 teams left. Do the Trojans stay number 1, Austin?
They lost the game. I'm guessing the team that beat them's got to be 1 now, and they probably had to go down to 2. Last year I was really on that Trojan train, and y'all bucked it forever, thinking that you're just going to leave them at 2. But I got no problem. You drop them to 2 this year, they should be 2. They lost the game. Lost the first. They came out of the chute. They should be 2. You call Coach Bobby, I bet he'd tell you they should be 10.
About 8 runs in the first inning. They let up. They
got ambushed. Don't get me wrong. They're still going to be there at the end of the year. But I'm assuming I'm seeing this with all the first-time listeners as well. But I got a feeling they're going to drop to 2.
Hey, well, here's the deal. These 2 teams will not match up in 5A.
Right.
both in different divisions in the playoffs. However,
Yeah.
let's check it out.
Number 2.
Here we go. Number 2 are the James Island Trojans. That means we will have a new number 1. The Trojans. Coach Sean, you were there for game 1 when those Trojans took on the other team that we might get to in a minute. Who knows? What did you see out of the Trojans, Coach?
They're just so incredibly talented. They, like I said, they had the one bad inning in that game, but then they outscored them the rest of the way. I mean, if I know you can't eliminate one inning from a game and not count it towards the score, but yeah, you take that one out and they win 5-2 because they only allowed 2 runs the whole rest of the game. But yeah, they got arms, they got bats, they can field a little bit. They got a lot of talent, and they ended up 3-1 on the weekend after that one bad inning, like I said. So no, I mean they got all kinds of commitments, obviously high level mid-major SEC guys and some younger guys that are going to get a lot of attention as they go on through the years and things like that. So James Island, yeah, I mean they're I was really excited to get down to see them because I was looking at their schedule at the beginning of the year and trying to see, hey, do they come up to Columbia? Is there any do I have to go out of my way to go see them? And thankfully, when Sammy asked me to go down there, I was like, okay, hell yeah, let's go. I'll go see James Island and kind of pick them apart and stuff like that. And they showed their stuff absolutely outside of that one inning, like I said. But they're going and it was a freshman throwing who unfortunately it is what it is. But freshman in game 1 of the season, that guy's got a whole lot more growth in himself. So that team's going to respond and they're going to be just fine, obviously. And I would imagine they probably don't drop much lower than this, maybe even the whole rest of the year. So we'll see. But James Island, we talked about him.
No pressure, guys.
No pressure there.
Well, they responded afterwards, right? They pretty much responded after that game.
Yeah, they went 3-1. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey,
can't ignore what the team coming did though.
Yeah, we can't ignore. So we'll move to them. The number 1 team in the Power 25 is Chapin. Three top 10 wins at the Classic. They took down Lawrence. Now they're different. They're not top 10 wins now as those teams have moved. They took down Lawrence. They took down Daniel. They took down James Island. But as of the Power 25 right now, they have 2 top 4 wins. As Sean likes it, their strength of schedule, their strength of record is very high. It's the number 1 in the state. And here they are at 4-0 winning the Classic.
What's their RPI, Coach? That's my
Coach.
question.
Their RPI is like
1.
It's 0.5. It's not even 1.
Do you want to be higher or lower on the RPI? I don't remember. You want to be 1 in RPI?
You want to be 1 in the RPI.
Okay.
Yes.
Anyway, yeah.
You want to be high.
No, they got a good squad, and like you said, yeah. I mean, coming out and obviously with some really good, talented opponents as well, and they said we don't care. We're going to show what we got too. And I talked about him earlier, but Caden Reeves is just in my mind he might be a pro prospect. Obviously a high level Division I player as well, but if he doesn't get drafted, I think he rolls into Troy and probably makes some noise over there, and just so much strength in that frame, and the bat speed to match as well, and he pimped one big homer he had, and a couple other good base hits, and just really good at bats the whole time, and things like that. Then not to mention Mac Berry, I talked about him earlier, but good lefty arm. Obviously a younger guy. Came out there and went out there 6 innings on the second day I was there. Their first game pitcher was Ty Harper, who's a SMC commitment, who hit a homer in that game as well. So they just got so much talent all the way through. They got Caden Harris, who shout out to him because he got our one video that went really viral of all of it with almost decapitating his head coach. But it is what it is. And Caden's a good little player too. He's got a good lefty swing, a lot of hand speed in there, and he didn't do it while I was there, but he had one good double I saw. Then later on, but he's got a lot of power in there too. They had a little second baseman, outfielder, but he was in the bottom of the order. Felix Flecha Ruiz, who the good lefty swing, and he had a couple of doubles on the weekend, and one was in a really big spot there on that day too. So they just got a lot of good offense. Charlie Todd is at the top of the order, a sophomore, plays outfield, good little lefty swing again, and got some speed. His brother Campbell Todd is the first baseman on that team. He hit a bomb. He hits 4-hole. They got Weston Plotner as well, who we've seen at an event, who's got some strength and is coming along, and he had a couple good base hits. So anyway, they really do. This got a lot of good talent on that team, and a handful of guys that we've had a chance to see, obviously already. And so they're doing exactly kind of what we expect them to do. And like you said, Drew, the two wins in the top 4 from this ranking already. I mean, that's no joke. I mean, you can't fake that kind of a thing. So Chapin, is going to have a lot of success this year, and somebody that obviously me and Sammy are pretty close by over here, but we're definitely going to want to take some time to go see him at some point again this year, see if they can keep that up.
The Midlands boy. I mean, me and Sean. I mean, we ain't got to go far to watch the best teams in the state. I don't know. Only time will tell.
Well, they're not in our backyard like some of us, but it is what it is. So.
Hey, guys, it's as we reveal the Power 25. We have some big series this week, and it's time to kind of start with those. We move forward in wrapping this up. Now we have a game of the day. It'll be on Tuesday. We have a 3-game series of the week and a 2-game series of the week. With those, we will make predictions. It's fun. It's fun time. Let's see what we got.
Trying to start something here.
We are trying to start something. Oh, we can't present this? Doesn't look like it. However, we're going to share screen. Here we go. Our game of the day. We're going to blow this up a little bit. Oh, shit. Too much. Here we go. Game of the day. Eastside takes on at Dorman. Dorman ranked number 7. It is on Tuesday. Big time pitching matchup here. Espo, we got DeVries versus Wells in the game of the day on Tuesday. So we'll go, as we know, we've talked about Wells, we've talked about DeVries. It is prediction time. I'll go first.
Time out. Who's going up there, upstate guys? Who's going up there?
TBD right now. We're still TBD. We're working through some things out right now.
Killing me.
We're TBDing some stuff.
We'll be there though. That's what matters.
I think Dorman's just as close to our Midland people as it is to us upstate people, to be right honest with you. I mean, if you really want to get down to the mileage and the minutes, it probably is.
You're that's what I told Drew the other day when I called him. I go, how far is it for you? It might be the same distance.
About the same for me. And
the fact that you guys live in the upstate, but y'all live in Georgia almost. So it's.
Is it? I mean, I'm up 26 already, so I might be halfway there.
You are.
Sean legitimately probably is the closest.
Sean, you probably are the closest one, to be honest.
Well, I mean, I'll go. Let me see what how far the drive is.
Well,
as he's looking up the drive, let's make these predictions.
Well, he's on that list.
I'll go first. Austin, you'll go second. Sean third. Sammy fourth. Give me. This is a tough one because DeVries is so good. But we saw DeVries pitch against OCA, and OCA came back. Give me Dorman to win it. Very close at the very end.
Give me Dorman too. I think Dorman. We saw a lot of Eastside. I talked a lot about Eastside after the tournament down there. They were one bad inning away from probably. I know Sean. Like he said about James Island. We can't take that inning off the scoreboard, but. They gave up 5 in the 7th inning against OCA that game, lost that game. But other than that, they didn't lose the rest of the tournament. So I think Dorman's lineup might be a little better. So I'm gonna give them the edge because I think pitcher versus pitcher. I mean that might be a wash there. So I'm gonna take Dorman because I think they might can swing it a little better personally.
Coach, I am 1 hour and 7 minutes.
That's closer.
76 miles.
Closer to me.
That's fine. I'll go. It is straight up 26. I don't even have to turn anywhere. So, my pick though, I'm gonna go East Side. I think DeVries is just he might be the best pitcher in the state right now already, and he's a sophomore, And I feel like our guy Peter Mershon, he didn't have the weekend he wanted over there at the Shipyard with us, but I like the matchup there he's got against the big lefty, and I think he's gonna have a big day up there on Tuesday. So give me East Side.
I was getting worried, Sean. You were gonna put me in a hole and make me, save the pick'em here. I'm kind of going where Austin's at on this one. I think the starters are going to be a push when it's all said and done. I think Dorman's lineup is just a little bit deeper when it's all said and done. So with that being said, and a home game for Dorman, I'm gonna go the Cavs on that one. I think the starters kind of pushed themselves out, and they're both out of the game, called in the 5th, and we're gonna have a bullpen battle. And I just think Dorman's lineup's just a tad bit deeper right now. Matt, we'll find out. But that's where I'm at.
Yeah, it's the home opener for the Cavs too, man. It's gonna be 70 degrees, man. There's gonna be people coming out of the woodwork to watch this.
Yeah.
Game.
I mean, Dorman University is going to be bumping up there. You know what I mean? Like
U is going to be just rolling. I bet Dorman. I bet they got some nice new uniforms broke out, man. That place is going to be fun.
Is there space for good video out there?
Yes.
Okay.
Got a great spot.
Okay. All right.
Oh boy, these comments rolling in. Here we go again. Now, so we got 3 Dormans and an East Side. 2-game series of the week. Nope, I'm sorry, 3-game series of the week. It was messed up there. How about this one? Catawba Ridge taking on Fort Mill in a region matchup. Number 10 Catawba Ridge, number 3 Fort Mill. Big series. This one's tough, but give me the upset. Give me Catawba Ridge to win 2 or 3.
I'm going to go Fort Mill 2 or 3. I think Catawba Ridge wins the game. Glauber pitches. I think Fort Mill overall, I think they're going to pull through there for the series. Give me the Jackets.
That's a tough one, Coach. Give me. Yeah, I mean, I just we haven't seen Fort Mill. I mean, which is I guess maybe for better or for worse. Just we now that we've seen Catawba Ridge, I guess we kind of know a little bit better of what they are. But with that being said, I guess I hate to go against them because I feel like they maybe only had maybe an average showing down there at the Shipyard. But I'm gonna take Fort Mill as well. Take 2 out of 3.
Tough one here. So where do we start this thing off? We go is it at Catawba or at Fort Mill first?
I don't know. Good question. We can check that.
I got it right here. I go to the videotape. Hold on. I'm going pure T home team here because I think it's going to be kind of a push when it's all said and done. I can't find Fort Mill here. Nope, we're close with them Jackets. There we go.
At Fort Mill.
Yep, I'm gonna go Fort Mill. They got 2 at home. Fort Mill.
I'll be the difference. Copperheads, baby. Oof. Now, your 2-game series of the week. Big one. Number 4, Daniel, takes on number 10, Fountain Inn. We'll start at Daniel on Tuesday or Wednesday night. I think it goes to Fountain Inn on Friday, I believe. PBRSC will be in attendance on Wednesday. Now, this is someone's going to go with the split here, obviously. But before I make a pick here, Sean, just
are we allowed to go split first of all? Or are we allowed to go
split? You can go split. But this is going to tell me. This is going to tell you my pick right here. Give me the Pain Train to sweep.
You got to keep that thing up there, Coach. You just took that down quick.
Well, we put it back up there. See, there you go. You want the
I do like how you're in the back of the train.
I told you I was going to do the caboose and the Pain Train.
You
belong like a kid's
belong in the back.
Show. Like Miss Rachel, but the Pain Train. That's what that looked like. Jeez.
God. I already know my pick, and it has nothing to do with who's playing in this game. I already know my pick.
Oh, I hate to do it. I got to go split. I think that's 2 really good teams. I mean, I can't. I don't want to pick against either one of them. To be honest with you, I think Fountain Inn's got some right as of today. They got the hottest bats in the state. But I mean, Daniel went down about one of the classics, so I would be shocked if we end up with like 2 1-run games and each team pulls through. So I'm going split. Somebody needs to go to Fountain Inn Friday night and go eat at Wing Nuts.
Give me a split too. We've seen both these teams pretty good, and I think they're pretty evenly matched. Is it home and home, or is it?
Yes,
it is. Then yeah, give me a split.
I was going to go split off the bat, but then when the pain train rolled onto my screen and I saw that picture, I Fountain Inn for the win. I mean, I had nothing to do with Daniel. It's nothing against them. It's the guy that's in the damn caboose in the background. The back of that thing is the whole thing. Yep, that guy right there at the back of the caboose.
Did you get Jared's consent to do this?
I hope that at least the back. I hope the caboose goes off the damn tracks. You know what I mean? And just crashes into something. The rest
I hope you got Jared's consent there, because if not, you got him looking like a complete just.
You got fingernails and skin tight pants in the caboose.
Jeez.
Damn fingernail gonna run that train off the track, gonna get hit. They run right off.
Oh shit. Hey. Anyway, this is fantastic content, guys. Hey, before I shared some news with you, so that's why some of you might have went with a split. Before we wrap this thing up, one little segment here. What we got?
Oof. Tony's Pizza in Charleston. Holy smokes.
Oh,
God.
Wasn't good on the stomach, but
Crushed it, man. That was awesome. Shipyard.
Espo and I had canes down there. That was obviously a good one. I hadn't had canes in a little bit. That was a good one. But no, that barbecue sandwich yesterday with nice little packet of Funyuns as well, and a Coca-Cola. That was good to go. Lexington, baby.
So this why I didn't really like that I had to skip the Optera this year. Is that, I mean, you can, especially when you bounce back and forth between sites, you get, it don't feel like you just went up there and camped out in the hospitality tent. You can go back, you can do both. So, Coach, I know that's what you like to do.
Thursday we had pizza and calzones. Really? Cupcakes. I mean, and I'm walking out. I think I was talking to Drew. Wonderful people go, "Hey, Coach, you need a burger to go?" Got me a burger on the way out.
There we go.
I mean,
I don't know who the cupcake lady is down there, but you've been on her for 2 years in a row. You've been wearing out that cupcake for 2 years. We got to figure out who's making those.
Coach, that's gonna give people what they want. You know what I mean?
Somebody said they would give Sammy what he wants, and that's some cupcakes.
We'll get this carcass without not eating them cupcakes.
Coach, we got 1,500 viewers. 1,500? Come on.
That's not including Instagram or Facebook. That's just Twitter.
Did anybody comment anything inappropriate? If we did, screenshot and send it.
Yes, we got one. Drew sent me one. Drew was worried about
it. Coach Hall coming in hot.
There you go.
Yeah, I was going to say, throw up that one.
Hey, Coach Hall.
Yeah, Coach Hall. Hey, Coach Hall, easy now. We don't lose a game this summer now. Sean's going to be coming in hot.
Oh, shit. Coach, we got the Instagram comments have completely turned upside down. A lot of kids starting, a lot of burner accounts, especially from one specific team, like Mike Hawk, which anyway,
you didn't even say
anybody.
Is it time for us to go to work?
Does anybody else have anything to add before we wrap this baby up?
Let's get out of here.
Let's get out of here. That's the best thing I've heard. Anyway, that's going to do us for episode 113, episode 114. Who knows what we'll talk about? So from all of us here at Prep Baseball, South Carolina. We hope you have a great week.